On this episode of Dice and Dudes, the handler gives them their first assignment.
Him and his daughter just disappeared. An extremely capable and dangerous man should be approached with caution.
The agents make their introductions.
Dr. Sells, you're what, like a nerd?
If you want to call it that, yes.
The team sharpens their investigative skills.
And you have a home address.
The operation starts now.
We no longer cleave to any government agency. We now operate privately on our own project.
He said that there's this place down south all these rich men go to devil worship. He said they sacrifice kids and whatnot. Women and children all got murdered there. And something about some place called Carcosa and the Yellow King.
All right, so we're gonna start going right now. All right, so Kale, what is a day in the life of Dr. Sells?
Well, Dr. Sells is a researcher at the EPA's Office of Water. And depending on what his schedule looks like, after he leaves work, he usually either sees his department-ordered therapist or he goes and plays 40K at a local game store.
Okay, what do you think his dynamic / relationship with the therapist is? Is it good? Is it bad?
Confrontational.
Yeah.
He feels like he does not need to be there.
Okay. Let's go that out. Let's play that out for a second. So, you're in the office. It's like mid-afternoon. We'll say it's a Wednesday. It's rather nice out. You know what I mean? Work's been a motherfucker, and you just want to get to you got a nice game set up tonight that you're looking forward to, and you just want to get out of here because you got to get all your guys together and make sure you're diced and reconfirm with people. But they keep pressing about, like, they don't feel like you talk enough about what happened, the incident, the boat. How does Sells respond to that? And what does he look like? Can you give us a brief description, like height, looks, that kind of thing?
So yeah, Sells is short and scrawny, and he has like unkempt, like greasy black hair and thick eyeglasses, and he has terrible posture, always fidgeting, and he has a habit of getting lost in thought.
We'll say that actually happens at the therapist. You're looking out the window, you're thinking about your game coming up, you're thinking about work. You're not even really paying attention to this because it's been 6 months of this, and in a lot of ways you're just kind of, you're not getting anything from this. You don't really need to be here. You're fine. You're just playing along. Sells, Dr. Sells.
Yes.
Again, I don't enjoy this habit you have of not listening when you're here. This is supposed to be back and forth. And it's kind of hard to do that when you don't respond. Your eyes just glaze over.
The agreement was that I attend these sessions, not that I participate in them.
I'm playing.
I personally would be pleased if you just gave a doctor's note to my supervisor saying that I didn't require these sessions anymore. That would be so much easier, in my opinion.
Your therapist is an older man, balding, with this graying beard. He's kind of in like a swivel chair. He's clicking a pen as you say this, and he's like, "Do you believe you don't need to be here?" And he says, clicking the pen.
I don't see why. It's a waste of my time.
What you went through is traumatic, no?
I have my own ways of dealing with trauma.
I'm sure they're healthy. He says, looking at the scrawny man with terrible posture who looks like he hasn't seen the sun in a little while. I'm not going to sign a note because, personally, Dr. Sells, I believe you need to be here. And I believe you actually need to work. And there's that. We'll cut out of that. It's Sells on his way home. What is it? Does he live in a house, an apartment? What does his living space look like?
He probably lives in a decent sized house. I'd say he's like I don't know what a researcher for the EPA makes, but
Probably not bad.
a senior marine biologist is technically what I call him.
And where do you think you're at? DC area? Probably.
Yeah, I can't remember where I decided, but I think it would have to be somewhere around there. Yeah, maybe in. I don't know anything about the suburbs of DC.
All right, we'll call it like you're in like Arlington or something, like a nice area.
Yeah,
A cheaper neighborhood, but it's still a nice area. You know what I mean? There's more Whole Foods than like Price Rights or whatever.
Did you just make up that name, or is that an actual store?
It's a play on an actual store that it's
Price Right
is really.
That's such a great grocery store name.
Oh yeah, when I wrote that, I was like, I gotta make sure this isn't a real place. So you're living in, we'll call it like a rancher, a mid-sized home. It's nice, very clean, oddly clean, almost like someone's not living here. And the garage is like fully closed off with an air conditioner in it. There's a work table for him to paint his figures. There's a shelf displaying all his guys. What kind of army does he have? What is his go-to Warhammer army?
I think Necrons fits his vibe.
Yay.
Taylor has a orc army.
Fucking I have a orc army, yeah. Goddamn right. Got my fucking power claw and everything.
Hell yeah. You'll like this, Taylor. Me and him were talking earlier because we did a sound test before you guys showed up, and I was like, I kind of want to write a scenario around like Stalin, but he's being treated like the God Emperor, where they're like sacrificing people to keep Stalin alive, in like a basement, in like Milwaukee or something.
That was kind of close with Hitler.
Yeah,
he wasn't that far on. Just there pumping into that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, but like I feel like that's been done with Hitler. I don't feel like a lot of people have done that with Stalin. So that's why I want to do it with Stalin.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, it's really clean. Almost like it looks like someone doesn't live here. You don't really talk to your neighbors. What do you think his interaction with his gaming group is?
Well, I feel like he's very calculating, but also the war game group is like the closest people that he has to friends at this point. Mm-hmm. So like that's probably the only time he like cracks a smile is when he's playing 40K.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of see him like he has a group of dudes that are all about his age. They're they're early 30s. Some of them have kids, and he's the one that like no one likes playing against because he's just on the ball, knows all the rules. The guy is just like, you didn't measure that. You sure? Did you play that already? Like that guy.
He's got 6 inches.
Yeah, exactly. He's that dude. So on your way home, you get home and you start going through your mail, and when you get a letter, and there's a little heart sticker stuck to the letter. And it says, for my lovely cells. You open it, and it's from Mary, and she's been thinking about you. I feel like he would burn that over, like, set that on fire with the stove and then put it in the sink.
Yep. Classic.
So what is his dead drop? What do you think that is?
Oh, Dr. Seashells, but down by the seashore.
There we go. I got one for you if you don't got one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so in your the little workshop for your guys, you have like a key hanging on a hook, in the garage. You pick it up. You drive into town. Like, you drive like an hour away, and you happen to have like a safety deposit box that only you and the program know about. And it's in one of those 24-hour buildings, so you're able to go in, and it's 3 in the morning. It's late. You open it. You pull out a thing, and it just basically says you got a train ticket to Greensboro, North Carolina, and it gives you directions to a hotel. All right. You kind of get what we're doing here, Taylor? See how we're kind of like doing like the... Okay.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get it transferred so I don't have to close out Discord. I can actually stay and read from my tablet the sheet.
Okay. I just like the idea of him having like a slightly contentious relationship. Like, half the gaming group really likes him, and the other half's like, he's kind of a dick, guys.
Yeah, he'll good game people. He'll tap him on the ass. Good game.
Good games.
He's like picking up people's models, and you're like, so you guys, you kind of rushed on this one, huh? And I was like, all right. I got fucking kids.
I appreciate what you're going for, but it's a little sloppy.
Eventually.
Mr. Giles,
What's up?
you look like a Delta Green agent, dude. You're looking rough, bud.
I know.
Oh, man. All right.
Dude, nothing but work. I'll just have to figure this. This is so annoying. Like, it just doesn't help that this tablet is like a decade old.
Here we go. Keep figuring. We'll jump to Mr. Giles. So this is taking place about we'll call it 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 maybe, before our current games. So Collins is a little bit younger. Probably just as jaded though. So what is Collins' life again? He's like living basically like a almost like a truck stop type city, an Emporia or something like that. A place where no one really wants to live, and it's mostly hotels and the interstate and some gas stations, right?
Yeah. As far as like Collins, like I'm. You said 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 because there's a difference.
We'll call it 4.
Okay. So I'll say this is a couple years after him being in it, but he's not like still like grizzled and calloused. However, is still getting used to like being part of like the program. You know what I'm saying? So
it's odd for him for sure, because it goes from like he was a Marine, killed people overseas, maybe killed a couple people when he was here working as a criminal, but now it's like he's getting like pictures of a guy in an address and going, "Hey, go pop this guy." And like, well, this is weird. This is coming from the fucking government, like
Yeah. I'll say that it's maybe for the sake of the lore, I'll say this is like a year or 2 after like the family falling apart and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like heavy in like the grizzled like like my face right now,
the hotel he's in is a lot of like empty bottles and fucking an ashtray full of fucking cigarettes. Just
still trying to put the pieces together. It's not at the point to where I'm like, oh, like this just is my life and what gives me meaning. I'm still like in the middle of being like, I lost my family, and then also like PTSD and da da da, and
Yeah, I'm sorry. My brain is still fucking
You're good.
trying to fucking.
You're good, bud. You're not doing bad. You're rolling with it. Can you give us a brief physical description of Collins for us?
Wait, don't I have a description on my character sheet?
Yeah. But so all the pre-gen characters, I leave them kind of vague, just so the player could add details if they want.
Okay, all right. Let me take a look at that, and then I'll go from there. No, I don't want to update. Fuck all the way off.
I got it. Oh, fuck me. Jesus Christ. Took forever, but I got my sheet finally.
Hell yeah.
Oh fuck! I just read the motivations and mental disorders. That's just me. Just get the job done.
Wait, Addison, where does
all-
it say? Where's the physical description on the character sheet?
So you should have your basic stats, strength, constitution. If you go all the way down, just past breaking point, it will say physical description. I got a somewhat short and square man with dark rings under his eyes.
Me.
Motivation, chase that high, adrenaline junkie. Oxy is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, I'm about 5'8". I tell everyone I'm 5'9". Yeah, stocky build. You can tell that I used to be in shape, but after years of pill use and drinking and debauchery, it's like catching up to me. I'll say that this is. I think that I got in the I feel like after, because I was a bank robber, so I feel like it was like a job that went really bad, and then the program kind of got me out of it and was like, all right, you're gonna repay we got you out of this shit, so you kind of owe us.
Yeah. You work with us, you're going to prison for the rest of your life, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say, let's give him brown hair. It's funny. I'm trying to make it not me.
Yeah, if you want to make him you, you can make him you. You're fine. It's just, and like the backstory we established earlier, he's from Philly, from the Philly area.
Yeah.
So probably comes from like a working class background with his family definitely having some connections to crime shit. Your dad probably robbed banks. Your uncles probably did, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so now I'm just in a random hodunk town, fucking just kind of drifting. And, it's like shit like this is what actually makes me feel alive because the stakes are so high.
Yeah, so you're basically just kind of wasting time until the program touches base again, basically.
Yeah.
So you wake up in this little hotel. Like I said, there's bottles everywhere. There's some cigarettes, an overfilling ashtray. You wake up, you take a last little swig from a bottle. You take a pistol that you have on your nightstand. You tuck it in the back of your pants, put your shirt over it, step out, have a cigarette. You walk down to the convenience store. There's a little gas station that's within walking distance. You get, whatever morning shit you do, maybe a coffee, maybe some bad fucking breakfast burrito. And as you come back, the lady at the front desk kind of stops you and is like, "Hey, you got a letter?" In which that means the program. What do you think your dead drop is? Because everyone has a dead drop. Griggs' one is he paces his steps from an old gas station by his house, and there's this tree with a hole in it, and that's where they leave the shit. Dr. Sells has a safety deposit box. What do you think Collins' dead drop is?
I think it's it's an empty pack of cigarettes that is kind of strewn about the front of my hotel, but it has say it's a pack of Marlboros, but it's misspelled just slightly.
So it's gonna be a little bit bigger. So we'll say it's a carton, and it's like a carton that's stuck under a dumpster. You know what I mean? Where it's it looks plausible. Maybe someone threw it and they missed. So yeah, you get a letter. It's from your dad, and it goes, "Hey, thinking about you, Bubba. Your dad's been dead since you're like 17, so you know it's not him. It's the guy at the program.
Mhm.
You go there, you pull your dead drop out, and you get excited because it says be in Greensboro in 12 hours, and you got a little bit of loose cash and a ticket to get there. There you go. All right.
Yeah, I pop 2 oxys in my mouth. I chew them, don't swallow them, or I chew them, not like water or anything. I'm just like, let's go.
All right.
I pull out my wallet. I look at the picture of my daughter, and then I just kind of like, and then get to it.
Yeah.
To Greensboro.
All right.
To Greensboro.
Taylor, what is so you're playing Foley. Give us a little brief outline of who Foley is, and what his home life is like. Like what a typical day for Foley is.
Typical day for Foley. He's been self-employed now for about 5 years. He finally beat one of his boss's asses and couldn't get a job anymore. So he decided, fuck it, I have a truck that still works and a toolbox full of half-dead tools. I'm gonna start fixing people's shit. So he wakes up usually typically around 10 a.m. His day never starts with a job. His day always starts with finding a job for the next day.
Okay.
So it's one of those days. He wakes up 10 a.m., rolls out of bed and lights a cigarette.
Where's he living? An apartment, a house, a trailer?
He lives in a single family, but one of those kinds that aren't made anymore.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Fucking doesn't even have a powder room.
Yeah, and like a
Kitchen and kitchen and laundry are the same room.
Mm-hmm.
You have one light between the kitchen, living room, and laundry, and there's one light in your bedroom.
All right, yeah.
He wakes up, sun streaming through the blackout curtains that he put up with nails. Rolls over, grabs his cigarettes, realizes, oh, there's only one left, like always. Lights it, rubs his eyes, takes a piss, and steps out on his front porch. It's pretty much that every day until he finds a job, gets a job to do. Essentially anything, fixing tile, fixing plumbing. You got a hole in your deck, I'm there with a cigarette in mouth.
Yeah, he's a punch out guy. Repairs,
Exactly.
Faucets, hanging fans, that sort of stuff. Where do you think he's located at?
Somewhere, a major shipping hub, but not within the city.
Okay.
So somewhere there's constant work, there's constant turnover of people coming in and out, residentially, businessly, commercially. There's always warehouse space that could use a punch out, like you're saying. Things like that. Kind of a Detroit Newport News esque.
Okay, yeah, like a working class, blue collar city. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Let's say Mobile, Alabama. That's perfect.
There we go. I like that. What's he look like? What's Mr. Foley look like?
Like he's like the description says, a little physically imposing, kind of like I'd say 6'2", built like Calvin Gastelum.
Okay.
So stocky but tall at the same time. One of those weird kite build kind of big dudes.
Yeah.
Where his shoulders and his hips are the same width.
Okay. I like that.
It helps attribute to his unnaturally strong demeanor for not being that big of a guy.
Mm.
Let's see.
Some big ass like catcher mitt hands.
Yeah. Hands that can grab a live wire and not be hurt. Alice.
A little gives you a little tingle.
Fucking it's a pretty like a scarred and scraped face, like more like like abrasions all over his arms,
Okay.
through his upper chest and face. Nothing like a blade across the face or anything like that, but
Little nicks
catching
and-
sandblasts, catching
Yeah.
concrete blocks exploding, things like that.
Yeah.
Just nicks and cuts and scars all over. Shaggy dark hair. Never keeps it too long because you never can with concrete. uh, like always dressed like you said, and clothes not always dirty, but look dirty
Yeah.
because they've been dirty for so long.
There's some wear
No
and
matter
tear.
if you clean them, yeah. No matter if he cleans his clothes, there's always marks.
Yeah.
There's always debris.
He's wearing a button-up flannel with like the pocket slightly ripped kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking welding holes in all his clothes and shit like that.
Okay. So you're out there, you're smoking a cigarette, and it's weird because like the mailman's already come, and usually it comes later in the day. He's got a letter, and it's from your grandpa, and he's like, "Hey, thinking of you, buddy." He's been dead a long time, and it's the first time it kind of clicks. Like you were told to be waiting for something like this because you've never been on a mission. You were contacted by the program. You had the incident with the occultist, and then basically were told like, "Hey, you work for us now, or are you going to prison?" And you're like, "Okay, I'm working for you guys." And they're like, "All right, wait for a call." What do you think your dead drop is? What do you think Foley's dead drop would be?
I'd say I have a regular guy who brings my drugs, and whenever I get a drop from my weed guy, I don't know how they do it, but every time my dead drop comes, it's a cylinder hidden in my ounce, and it's just a little metal cylinder that's inside every ounce. When I get a dead drop, and it has all my, what do you call it? I guess the things I would need.
Okay. All right. So we'll say the neighborhood you're living in is not the best neighborhood. So there's a house down the way that's been abandoned for a few years. So that's where your weed guy kind of like, you slip the cash in the mailbox. The weed guy puts the weed in the mailbox.
Perfect.
So you walk down there, and there's a little cylinder, and you open it, and it tells you to be at this hotel at this time in Greensboro, and you got a plane ticket. All right.
All right.
So all you guys arrive in Greensboro, North Carolina. Let's see.
I will say real quick. Either Colin and Foley are going to be the best of friends, or they're going to fucking hate each other.
All right, real quick, what are the cigarette brands they smoke? I want to find out if they have the same brand.
Uh-oh.
I got Marlboro. I got Cowboy Killers.
Cowboy Killers.
I smoke Cowboy Killers too. Fuck.
All right, Greensboro, North Carolina, is it's a mid-sized city with a population just over 250,000. It's a not too talked about city, not a lot happening, but a pretty easy place to go unnoticed. You guys pull up to like a place called Dan's Motor Inn. We'll call it Dave's Motor Inn. You kind of go to the front desk. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is nice old guy." He's like, "Oh yeah, your party's waiting in the back for you." And they got a little conference room, kind of thing, like maybe a family reunion would happen, or like small little business meeting. The whole thing's out of date. It feels very like late '60s, early '70s. So you guys all kind of meet for the first time. So you got Collins. What are you wearing, buddy? It's like springish. It's nice out.
I'll say sweatpants, a wife beater, and then a bomber jacket.
Good look. That's a solid look.
With very, very thick sunglasses.
Nice. All right.
Because the sun hurts.
Dr. Sells, what are you wearing, buddy?
Just a boring white button-up and gray slacks.
All right. Foley, what is Foley rocking?
I have a pair of shit kickers, nice square-toed cowboy boots, and then a pair of black, black denim slacks over them, and like you said, like a blue plaid shirt with my sleeves rolled up.
Hell
and
yeah.
a white tee under it.
Nice. All right. You all kind of start walking to the conference room, kind of all looking at each other. Again, this is the first time Sales and Foley have been on a thing for the program. Collins is like, well, these guys I'm probably not going to work with these guys again. They're not going to make it. So he's just like fucking probably just beeline to the room. So you guys walk into the conference room. There's a small coffee, and you guys see a little box of donuts in the center table. And there's an older woman, probably late 40s to early 50s, still somewhat attractive, graying red hair, kind of like a little short bob, and she's wearing like a button-down dress shirt and slacks, and you can kind of see she's in a pair of slides that she's slipped off and is walking barefoot around the thing. And it's just like, good to see you, gentlemen. Please sit down. I'm Agent. We'll see. What's a good? We'll call her Hay, Agent Hay. Which Collins knows isn't a real name. You all kind of sit down. You can help yourself to donuts and coffee if you would like. You two are new to the program. I guess you guys kind of got an idea of what we do. Obviously, we don't expand on it too much. Collins, good to see you again. We're probably gonna need a
real quick, can we say that like my plate is just loaded with donuts?
Yeah.
Like I'm not even paying attention because I'm used to it. I'm just fucking like
not like, but like
definitely
I'm
like
just focused on the plate.
he's picking at like he's got a bunch of them, but he's picking at different ones at the same. Like he's just like
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. And she walks over.
Fucking Danny McBride morning at like the morning after this is the end, like when he makes breakfast.
Yeah. I didn't think about it, but I do like the idea of Collins. This is Danny McBride.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I feel like you've already described like Eastward Bound, like he's bounded down.
Yeah, dude, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was seeing like that curly mullet. The fucking yeah.
Exactly.
So she walks over. She closes the door. Collins, you're pretty familiar with Agent Hay. She's very much no nonsense. You know a little bit from when you were working with you and Hap were working with her, that she's like old CIA, like Cold War CIA. Like this chick doesn't play. So she kind of opens up a laptop, and there's a projector fucking hitting the back wall. 18 hours ago, the fingerprint of a former program agent, Frank Hayes, popped in the city of Greensboro, North Carolina. Hayes has been in the wind for the last 5 years. As I'm sure you guys can guess, we don't like our agents just falling off the map. Hayes has been had been with us for a long time, over a dozen missions under his belt. So as you can figure, we're worried when he disappeared with his daughter. His print was found at the scene of a robbery, where over 100 prints were pooled. We have his whole profile flagged, so we in the systems we put him as a fugitive. So if he pops at all, it alerts us. So we have him as a fugitive in the system, wanted for multiple murders. Word was sent to Greensboro PD that you're coming down. Your cover is U.S. Marshals. We need you to get out there, figure out if our guy's still around, and if he is, bring him in. If he doesn't want to come, handle him. And then Agent Hay slides across an envelope. In the envelope is some cash. There's a cell phone for each of you with each other's number in it and a number for her. And then there's 2 U.S. Marshal badges. Any questions?
There's only 2?
Yeah. This is, like I said, 18 hours ago. So we're working on fucking our ass on fire kind of thing. We got to move on this.
Okay. Being the one who like knows how shit.
Go ahead.
Being the one who knows how shit goes, I immediately grab it and I'm like distributing. Like I'm like, here's your cut of the cash. Here's your what's the name. Fuck. Dr. Sells, you're what? Like a nerd?
If you want to call it that, yes. I would have to assume I would be better at talking than this one. And he'll point at Taylor, what's your character's name again?
Foley.
Foley.
I feel like Foley
yes,
has a black...
he doesn't look like much of a talker.
I feel like he has a black cup of coffee and he's smoking a cigarette.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
I'll say
Well, because I'm thinking of who I give the other badge to. I think that Cells. I feel like you could patch yourself as like a consultant, like not a U.S. Marshal, but it's like, oh, you're like a contractor to like examine shit, or you know what I'm saying?
Yep, an analyst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
I've said nothing up to this point. I've just watched everything go down. Like Addison said, I have my coffee and cigarette, and I just watch you two as you converse. And eventually I just stop and interrupt you. And go, does anybody here know how to kill anybody? I think I might deserve a badge, at least just for that.
I kind of look at you, and I look you up and down, and then I toss a badge at your chest, and I'm like, we'll see.
Very well.
I just nod at you.
I suppose I will be playing the support role.
She walks over to like a big like roll around bag. She unzips it, and then basically like there's like those big like piano thing folders where like you can tie it. You know what I mean? Those old school ones. She pulls one of those out and kind of slides it across the table to you guys. In there is a brief on Frank Hayes, giving you his whole background. There's a psychological eval and a couple pictures too, and a physical description. So you guys can look at that if you want. First steps, like I said, the PD know you're coming, so you guys can go to the station, or you can actually head straight to the crime scene if you would want. The place is called Holly's Hideaway.
What was the first choice?
The police station. There is a car out front. The keys are there among the envelope. So,
did we get? You said it's the police station or the crime scene. So that's the crime scene is where the plant was found, right?
Yes.
I would say we head outside. I light another cigarette. I look at Cells. And what's your name, Monty?
Collins.
Say again?
Collins.
I look at Cells and Collins. I light my cigarette. I ask them, do you think the police are even worth an option, seeing as though, well, I mean, like we're above the police, right? Let's just
I
go to
don't
the crime
like
scene.
dealing with local bumpkins either, but they can be a good source of information.
And I think it is good just to touch face to be like, hey, just for the sake of the cover, just be like, hey, Marshall's in town, you know, saying we'll take over this, don't get in our fucking way type shit.
All right, I see why. I don't see why not. Let's go talk to these redneck fucks.
Yeah, Cells is gonna crack the dossier. He's interested in knowing, like what kind of agent Frank Hayes was. Was he like a shooter or like a?
So the first is the actual brief. This is a brief written up by a program analyst. Yep, I understand. Oh, it's too long. Fuck you, it's too long. All right, I'll break it in half. Like I said, I wrote a lot on this one. So that's the first half of it. Second half. That is the brief written by program analyst. Next is a set of photos. There are 4 of them. And I can also just give you guys a brief outline if you just want me to do that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Where are you sending this stuff?
Maps and handouts.
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect.
All right, so the brief overarching thing for him.
This is long as shit.
Oh yeah, I wrote a proper brief for it. So, like I said, the plan is to eventually put these out and let people describe. So I want there to be an actual brief that if someone pays for the Patreon or whatever to be able to actually use this shit instead of me making it up on the fly. You don't have to read the whole thing. Like I said, I can give you a brief outline if you want. This is the physical description.
Just in-game lore. Right when I read Marines, like I'm reading it to myself and I'm like, oorah.
Yeah.
He sounds like a volatile man.
Yeah. So the brief outline, just for people listening to this, he was a guy born to a poor family in Arkansas. Joined the Marines at 18. Did 7 combat deployments over 10 years. Possibly did operations with the CIA because he has a deployment where he was out of country, but there's no record of it for the Marines. Around this time is when his daughter was born. He became a door kicker for the program shortly after. When he leaving the Corps, he was placed in the U.S. Marshals with the help of the program. In the Marshals, he basically, when he was in the Marines, he was also like a Marine Raider, which is like the Special Forces equivalent for the Marines, and was highly decorated. So when he joined the U.S. Marshals, he again just excelled at everything. Became viewed as a big asset for the field office he was in. Lost his wife to cancer. And around this time is when cracks started to show, such as when he was tracking a fugitive, a child by the name of Barry Lowe. Barry was found outside of a bar he frequented with his head stomped in. And the bartender said he saw Hayes there the night that Barry died. Hayes basically claims that he was just there looking for Lowe, had nothing to do with his death. There was an investigation. Nothing was proven, but a psychological eval that followed, because his wife died shortly after that, it was recommended he got taken off active duty, which due to the program they were able to push that aside. 2 more psychological evals happened, and then about 3 years later, about 6 years later, him and his daughter just disappeared. An extremely capable and dangerous man should be approached with caution. The physical description is he's about 5'10", last seen around 200 pounds, 212. He has a surgical scar on his stomach, and tattooed on his upper bicep on his right arm is the Marine Raider insignia, a skull and a red diamond on a blue field with 5 stars. Extremely capable and dangerous. And I'm going to send this psychological eval as well. So yeah, where are we doing, you guys? Are we heading towards the
Or driving towards the police station.
All right.
Yeah.
There's the psychological eval. And just so you guys get a good image of what the actual let's post through the image. Yeah, so you're in towards the police station. It's kind of Greensboro is a very nice town, so the police station you're in is rather quiet, small, well put together. Right there, and I should be able to do this here. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, and that's the Marine insignia. The Marine Raider insignia that he has tattooed on his arm. So yeah, the police station, kind of out of the way, well put together, quiet. The police station is quiet. As you guys show up, there's a conference room set up for you. A uniformed officer kind of leads you guys there. Can you guys give me an alertness roll, please?
Copy that. What die is an alertness roll on?
It's going to be a D100 always, unless I tell you otherwise.
D100?
Mm-hmm. So just put 5 20-sided die.
That is a 38 under 40.
Nice.
1 second.
Yeah.
Fucking 66. And I'll
That's
say
a
that
crit fail, baby.
I will say that I brought the plate of donuts with me, and like they were on my lap when we were driving. And walking the police station, I'm still like going at them, so that's why I failed that roll.
But you failed it like really bad.
You're scared carrying donuts with you for the whole car ride.
I'll say since it was a crit fail, you do drop your donuts, and there's like a moment where all the cops are like, "What the fuck."
I look at them and I'm like, boys, I brought gifts.
You said 520 die, right?
Yeah. But I was
Yeah, 59.
59. Okay. Yeah, I was telling Kale I wrote this scenario starting Tuesday, and the first night I knocked out like 2,300 words.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, no, I kind of hit on a vein here. Like I like that psychological eval because I want to actually have something substantial people could read if they wanted to. So both of them fail, right? Fucking Collins drops the donuts. Foley is fucking this like the fuck, dude.
I burned my hand with a cigarette.
So you didn't crit fail like he did. So you're just like, what the fuck, dude? You're like looking at him spilling donuts because you're like, we're supposed to be top secret agents. Like you have no experience in law enforcement or anything like that. Your experience with law enforcement is running from the police. So you're like, yeah, dude, we're fucking cool. We're secret agents now. And the guy lets experience one drops donuts. You're like, the fuck. But Sales, you notice along one wall there is a dry erase board with photos and notes pinned to it. The photos are of trash bags. You can kind of barely make out the notes from here, but they talk of human remains being found in them. You also notice a bunch of missing person posters. So you guys are kind of hurried down the hall. One police officer says, don't worry about it. We'll make a rookie clean it up. And you're brought into a conference room. Sitting there is Detective Goodwin. Detective Jane Goodwin. She's a young lady, about 30. She's lean and fit with dirty blonde hair, and she's kind of wearing like a tank top, loose button up, and some jeans and boots. She kind of walks over and goes, "I guess you guys are the marshals." She says, holding out her hand.
Yeah, so Sales will take it and say, "I'm Dr. Vaughn. I'm a criminology consultant, and these are the marshals that I've been paired with."
I'm licking powdered sugar off my fingers, and then I reach my hand out and shake her hand.
She kind of gives you a grimace look, but shakes your hand anyways.
I apologize for Colin's messy demeanor and assure it's not the equivalent of his investigation skill, and shake her hand.
Greetings, you guys. We're happy to have you here, and we're hoping we can help you out with this. As you can kind of see, and she shows you a photo of Holly's hideaway. Let me go to that real quick. Holly's hideaway. So it sits on the edge of a low-income neighborhood, a little hole-in-the-wall type place, looking more like a house than a bar. She says the robbery happened around 12:30 2 days ago. We still haven't found the culprit. He's in the wind. But yeah, we pulled the prints for your guy there. We don't believe he was involved with the robbery, but I guess it's possible. Yeah, we don't have much. We have some security footage you guys can look at if you want.
Yeah, I was about to say, can we take a look at that?
Yeah. And she kind of shows you a little map that they have, kind of showing you like the neighborhood, a little overhead. So, so the map, the red circle being Holly's hideaway. So she tells you that the neighborhood's called Adams Farm, the Adams Farm neighborhood. It's a poorer working class neighborhood, rough around the edges, kind of thing. So yeah, she goes into a laptop for you guys to scroll through the footage. The cameras are not the best, so I need each of you to give me search rolls.
No. All right, that's an 82. Oh yeah, another thing we forgot
39.
to mention.
Cool.
If you fail a skill, make sure you mark it, like make a note of it, because when this case is done with, you get an increase to all of your skills that you failed on.
Okay.
Okay, so I failed on my alertness earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
And Monty, you passed the search roll.
Yes.
Taylor, did you pass the search roll?
I got a 67.
What is your search though?
Oh, let me go check.
40. It's 40, so that's a fail. All right.
So it has to be under.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, let me see. Okay, I see the search.
Okay,
Keep it
so
going.
as you guys look through the footage, because you guys kind of had the physical description. Again, he was the last photo. If you guys look at the brief, kind of last photos. The most recent one you have of him is from a newspaper clipping. And basically, the newspaper clipping says, "Marshals catch fugitive in Kansas City." It takes you a moment, but basically, you kind of recognize him from his Marine photo. Because in his Marine photo, he was all like clean shaven, strong chin. Kind of look like a prince or some shit from a Disney movie. The second one, it's him leading a fugitive in cuffs out of a courthouse. His head's down. He's probably mid-40s. He's grown this big old beard. And he kind of has a ponytail and a little knot. All of it with like gray around it. So you're kind of looking for that. You're looking for kind of a stocky guy with long hair in the footage. And as you look through the footage, Collins picks up 3 guys that can match that description. One is wearing a motorcycle vest with on the back it says "The Devil's Few MC." The next is a guy wearing a long sleeve UV shirt, and on the back it says Greensboro Green Thumb across the back, and it's like a little lawn maintenance company. The third, he clearly has oil on his hands, and he's wearing a gray shirt. You can't really make out what it says on the back. You guys see it. And, so yeah, and then she kind of fast forwards to show you the footage of the robbery. The robbery is a young white guy covered in shitty prison tattoos, and a beanie, and you kind of see him stick the gun in the bartender's face, demands money, and then he runs out. So you're pretty sure the robber is not the person you're looking for.
Okay.
And so Goodwin's kind of.
I asked Sells, what exactly is it you're so smart in?
I'm a biologist by trade, but I've had a few run-ins with Delta Green in the past, even though this is my first official mission.
Right when he says Delta Green, I look at him and I'm like, I kind of get in his face and I'm like,
the program?
Don't fucking say that.
The program. The program.
Yeah. A good rule of thumb on this is you never say it directly. This is a big thing with them. They're never same thing as when you're you gotta handle him. They're not you gotta, hey, fucking shoot him in the face if he doesn't want to come with you. They're handle him, They're really big on being vague.
In the moment I'm doing
that, I picked up all the donuts that were on the floor, so I'm still eating them. So I'm in his face, mouth full.
Spitting crumbs.
Yes, yeah.
And just as you guys have that little brief exchange, Detective Goodwin comes back in with a little thin file that's on Frank Hayes. And you guys kind of open it because it's kind of bullshit. Because it's just yeah, he killed 2 people in fucking Minnesota 3 years ago or whatever the fuck. And doesn't mention anything about him being in the Marines, him being Special Forces, him being a fucking U.S. Marshal. None of that. It's just he killed people and he's bad. And that's kind of what he looks like. Yeah.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, this Devil's Few motorcycle club, do you believe that they might be behind the criminal activity that's been happening?
I mean, they mostly run drugs and girls. I think it's mostly crank. I mean, we deal with a lot of meth down here, some heroin. Yeah, I mean, we could go through them if you want. We got a whole.
Do they have a large presence in the town?
They're the only MC here. I think they butt heads with a couple other guys, but that's none of the clubs are as big as them.
This landscaping company, are they based in the area, or do you see them out here often, regularly?
Yeah, I see their vans around. It seems like it's a local owned business. I think it's run by what is their name? Hold on, give me a second. I have it in here somewhere. Who owns it? Holt, the Holt family. It's run by the Holt brothers. I think Greg's mostly the one doing it.
And this crime scene, this is at a warehouse, right?
No, it was at a bar called Holly's Hideaway.
Is that a bar? Okay.
Now, where could we come into contact, so to speak, with the Devil's Few?
They got like a clubhouse, actually not too far from Holly's Hideaway. And if you guys want to go touch base with them, and we can go I can get a file. We have files on them if you want me to go grab those.
Oh, a quick question before you grab those. This third gentleman, kind of more undescript. You say this isn't a very big town. I can tell it's, kind of everyone should know everybody here. Is he wearing anything that's common to the mechanics around here, or is it generic for you? Is it anything like some of the shops around here that the guys wear?
I'm not familiar, but you guys can all Holly's. They basically have regulars, so I mean, if you want to, you guys can go there and speak with her. She might be able to give you a little bit more information on these guys. Otherwise, I can't tell you much.
Real quick, so all three of these dudes have pretty much had the same physical description.
Yes, that's why you kind of pinged on them. They are about 5'10" to 5'9" to 5'11". They're in that height range.
Ponytail, not in the bag.
Black hair, stocky. Like they match his physical description.
Oh boy, was wearing. Go ahead.
One's a biker with a cut, wearing his cut. One's a landscaper wearing landscaper shirt, vest kind of thing.
Yeah, like a UV shirt. It's like
you said, yeah, like a UV shirt. And then you have a nondescript mechanic, greased up hands, arms, gray mechanic's button-up shirt. Those are our three suspects off the CC.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate your assistance. You do seem to have a lot on your plate at the moment, and Sells will very, very deliberately glance back at the whiteboard with all of the all the notes on it.
She kind of looks over at it and she goes, "Well, that's homicide. I'm robbery, so, and I was told to assist with this. I'm supposed to be your guys, on the ground, local."
Can I offer her a donut off my plate?
I'm good, thank you.
Can I? Under my breath, I'm just like, bitch.
I shake her hand again, thank her for her time, and I guess we head out to go to Holly's. Go to the bar.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best step.
Yeah. Real quick, when we're walking out, I take my hand and just rub it against the whiteboard, like through the middle of it.
So before you do that, do you guys want do you want Detective Goodwin on anything? You can see Detective Goodwin. Do you want her? She's coming with you guys. Are you guys gonna point her in a direction? You can kind of see. She's
okay. I see what you're saying. As I shake her hand and tell her thank you for your time, I can see that she's trying to help, wanting to help more, and I ask her, would she mind tagging along to maybe make the the interrogations, the questioning, maybe a little bit more comfortable with the locals.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll grab that folder we have on the double suit for you guys, and I'll be right with you. So yeah, she hands that to you. You guys get in your car. She gets in hers. You guys kind of follow her to Holly's Hideaway. So yeah, the brief outline for the Devil's View is they're a relatively small motorcycle club with a membership around 800. They have 7 chapters in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. They are known to punch above their weight, though, taking on larger clubs and coming up on top regularly. They hold the honor of being one of the few criminal organizations not having a member turn state's evidence yet, as well as they have a former South Carolina governor. It was a member for a while. And, of course, their members are tied to armored truck robberies, bank robberies, drug dealing, mostly meth, extortion, and weapons trafficking. And basically the file talks about stuff they're here involved with locally. There's a couple contract hits that they believe that they performed for the Dixie Mob. Some drug dealing. There's like a hotel like just off the interstate that they believe they're running girls out of in drugs. Yeah. So you guys pull up to Holly's Hideaway. Let me go to that real quick. Holly's Hideaway is it sits on the edge of a low-income neighborhood, a hole-in-the-wall type place. The outside looking more like a house than a business. But the neon signs say open, cold beer, call you to the door. The inside is smoky, a long dark bar, looking like it belongs back in the 70s with matching booths running along the outside wall. So we'll say it's middle of the day. There's still a few patrons kind of hiding in their seats, drinking away their sorrows. The bartender is an older woman. Years of drinking and smoking heavily kind of wear on her. She kind of walks over as you guys come in. She goes, "Detective Goodwin." She kind of gives the detective a nod, and she goes, "How you doing? How you doing, Miss Rice? These are the U.S. Marshals. I told you they might be coming by." She kind of points back at you guys. She goes, "Hi."
And you must be Holly.
That I am.
And Sells is gonna give like a creepy, forced smirk, kind of.
I
It's a
immediately
pleasure to meet you.
I give her a nod, and I'm like, round for the table.
All right. What?
I try to
What are we
buy
getting?
everyone drinks.
No, thank you. I'll have a water.
I still order them. I'm like, I'll drink them.
as Sells denies the drink, I look at Collins and say, "I'll take his. Don't worry."
Well, whiskey, beer. What are we getting? Holly said.
I'll say just a quick shot. Yeah, we'll say whiskey.
You get whiskey neat.
Yep. She pours 3 shots and then a whiskey neat. Detective Goodwin kind of looks between the two of you as you guys drink, and looks over at Sells, who's just gives her that creepy grin. So yeah.
I look at the bartender, the owner, and I ask her, how long have the Devils been coming here regularly?
The Devils. She kind of gives you a look. Not often. They mostly hang out at their place. They're not far from here. I think a couple of them live in the neighborhood. They'll pop in every once in a while.
Yeah, I ask her, where is their place?
It's up the street, and she gives you an address. It's not far. It's probably 10 minutes from here, by car.
Does it match what we had before?
On the file,
The
yeah.
description.
The same
Okay.
thing that the detective told you they hang out at. Because their club is their actual. It's like a club, so like you can go in there as a bar, but there's like a members only area kind of thing.
Okay.
It's safe to assume that we got some printouts from the security footage of the suspect,
Yeah.
or like of the potential suspects.
Yeah.
Can I lay them out and then ask her if any of them look familiar, people who have come in, or?
Yeah. So she kind of looks them over, and then she kind of looks back at you guys. She goes, "I'm not looking to get anybody in trouble."
Ma'am, you do realize that this is a very serious matter, and I understand that you have a reputation. However, don't, fuck up.
Been brought to you, ma'am. It's not really up to you to decide whether they're going to be in trouble or not. They already brought it to you.
You two give me
We're just
persuasion.
trying to help.
Give me persuasion rolls, both of you.
56. Fuck.
No.
1 second. 52.
Boom.
Fuck.
So you pass, Taylor. Yours is 60. You're a
Oh, I thought
contractor.
it was 50. Fuck yeah.
So you gotta talk.
Exactly.
You gotta talk people into shit.
You gotta talk it.
Yeah,
Gotta
you need this.
exactly.
You should get a new floor. You need this.
So,
So
Yes or yes?
So
Come on,
Collins,
guys.
Collins is more like abrasive. She kind of throws off, but you being like, "Hey, look, we're not trying to cause you any trouble. This is a serious matter. This guy's a murderer, kind of thing."
Wait, Collins is abrasive?
Right?
That's a shocker.
Wonderful. Awful idea.
So she kind of looks over the things. The guy in the cut. That's Ryan Moeller. Nice guy. He drinks here all the time. Usually pays with his card. I can pull it up if you need me to. This guy in the gray. It's hard to tell, but it looks like Chris Wilson. He works at.
That was the landscaper guy?
No, that would be the guy you guys.
That's
You're pretty
the
sure is
mechanic, but-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nondescript.
And what was his name one more time?
Chris Wilson. And the biker was named Ryan Mullen.
Got you.
Ryan is a neighborhood guy. I know he's been in trouble a few times. He usually pays with cash. And this other guy, I don't know his name. He's in here a couple times a week. always seems to walk here, so I'm guessing he's another neighborhood dude. Always quiet, nice guy, drinks, pays with cash.
How long has he been coming in?
A few months.
He's new to the area.
Yeah, him and Wilson. I know Wilson's been in and out. I think he's had some trouble in the past.
Always by himself, or is he with people?
I've never seen him come in with anybody. No.
Okay. The landscaper and Chris. How old did you say they are?
I don't know. Chris was a few years behind me in school, so he's probably 51, 49, somewhere in there. And same with, I guess, the landscaper's about that age. He's, a bunch of gray in his beard and his ponytail and stuff. And that's about,
Ryan?
I'm not sure. Probably late 40s, early 50s. It's hard to tell with those bikers.
Okay.
They live hard,
Understandable.
And that's
All
about
right, well,
that's about the age that Frank is. So.
Right. That's what I was trying to feel out. If anybody was closer to maybe their 30s, we could cut them out immediately.
Sells will look at the detective and say, Detective, can you point out exactly where they pulled the fingerprints of our man from?
Right here along the bar, and she shows you the first couple seats. All you give me intelligence rolls real quick.
Say again?
Ooh, this I can do.
Intelligence rolls. So you're gonna go up to your regular stats, and so Foley's intelligence is 10, so it's a 50 to pass. So 50 or below to pass.
Critical
50
success.
right on the dot.
All right.
Let me check. Let me roll.
Right.
50 or below. 50 or below. 46.
Perfect. So this all kind of hits you at the same time. For sales, it's really you think about all right, having a card that's really complicated. That means you set up a bank account, probably a lot of ID, a lot of eyes on you, unnecessarily so, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with also being in a motorcycle club. That's also, if you're on the run, you maybe don't join a criminal organization where you wear the colors and walk around looking for trouble. Same thing with that's what fucking the first thing Collins thinks about. He's like, if I was on the run, I wouldn't be using a card. I wouldn't be wearing a fucking vest that shows my fucking allegiance. And it's the same thing fucking hits on with Foley. Foley's like, hey, if you don't want to be seen, you pay with cash. He does that. He does a lot of cash jobs for that reason. It's like, I don't get taxed for this. This is fucking my money. So you guys are pretty sure whoever the guy in the cut was, probably not your dude. So that's the first thing.
Right.
That's the first thing you guys think of. So that kind of all hits you at once. So you guys can still look into him if you want to, but chances are it's probably not going to be your dude.
No, I look at Sal's and Collins and ask them anything else you guys feel like you need to ask. I feel like we've gotten pretty much everything we can out of here. Oh no, fuck that. Sorry. I look at the bartender and I ask, were any of those three men sitting over here where we pulled that print from?
Yeah. Wilson and the landscaper guy, they always sit at the bar. Usually by themselves.
Do you know anything about the company that the landscaper works for?
I know the Holt brothers run it. It's
Who are they?
some local guys. Let me go to them. That kind of somewhat successful businessmen around here. Greg Holt runs the landscaping business. I think his brother Jeff gave him the money for it. Jeff owns a couple of houses around here, so they're somewhat doing well kind of guys, but they're from the neighborhood, that kind of thing.
I look at the detective and ask her, I ask her, how much do the Holts contribute to the policeman's ball every year?
Jeff, I see him every once in a while. He seems to know the chief or something. I don't know. I think they're
this might be too much of a reach, but you know how in bars people put their business cards on the sandwich board and all that?
Yeah.
Can I ask if they left their card here for advertising purposes?
You don't have to ask. You can walk over the board.
Cool.
So the two that stick out to you is there's Greenville's Green Thumb, and it's kind of like a card that says lawn maintenance, landscaping, and it gives you an address for a little shopping center, and it's Greg Holt and the phone number. The other one that sticks out to you is Quick Fix Motors, run by a guy named Randy Wilson, which is kind of like up the block. And it says cheap.
And Chris's last name's Wilson, right?
Yep.
I noticed that. I walked up to the board with Collins, and I look at Collins. I go, "Hey, isn't that the name of one of our suspects? The Quick Fix."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I take both of them off the sandwich board. I take the Greensboro one. I give the mechanic one to Foley.
All right. Any more
I
questions?
put it in my pocket, and I light another cigarette.
Since you're in the beautiful state of North Carolina, you can smoke inside.
Yeah, I know where I'm at.
Or as Mac Romanowski would say, I heard you can vape in here.
Shout out Mac, dude.
Shout out, Mac.
Is there anyone in the bar
with us right now?
Yeah, there's a few patrons. They're all kind of like leaning over their drinks. They're not looking over at you guys. They're not stoked cops are in here. Even if they're not necessarily criminals, they are day drinking, so they're probably ne'er-do-wells doing shit. They do shit they probably shouldn't be doing.
Okay. I'm not going to do the whole...
Collins, you eyeing them, it's like someone in here has coke on them. Like, you know that. There's like looking over the dudes. You're like, someone in here has a bag.
I look at Collins and Sal's, and I tell him I don't think sticking around here is going to help us any further.
Yeah, no.
Yes. Now, to the landscaping business or the mechanic shop?
Dealer's choice. Either or. Because I feel like going to MC, I feel like that's just gonna get us in this fucking tangent that isn't gonna lead anywhere.
I was going to say, I don't think the MC is a lead. I think we all had the same thought. We have a guy who knows he's being searched. He knows he's being looked for. I don't think a guy putting on colors every day and stomping around like a big boy is the guy we're looking for.
I'd say landscaping just because I don't feel like we have enough information.
We know the least. Yeah, we know the least about the landscaper. I say we go there since we have a name that matches at least the last name of one of our suspects. That lead's not moving. Let's go to the guy who's the most suspicious so far.
All right, you guys head over to Greensboro Green Thumb. It's a small landscaping company. Their office is in a small shopping center, kind of sun-washed, 90s, heavy in the vibe. The office is tucked in the corner. You kind of, glass door that says Greensboro's Green Thumb. You kind of open it. It's one of those offices where, like, clearly the back is a garage, So, so there's an older woman with glasses and heavy makeup behind a desk. She goes, "Can I help you guys?"
Yes, ma'am.
You lead this time.
Can we say that actually happened, like, in the moment?
Yeah, exactly. Both just standing there in silence for a few seconds.
No, that actually happens. I just go, you take this one this time.
I kind of glare at him.
Sells is in the back just rolling his eyes.
Fucking new.
I'm like, yes, ma'am. We're here on an investigation. U.S. Marshal. Flash my badge. Quickly put it right back.
Oh my goodness.
No big deal. We're here searching for. Do you have anyone who works for this company who has a long ponytail, black hair, not on the back of their head? Might be an ethereal demon.
About 5'10".
That describes a few of our guys. I can call Mr. Holt and maybe he can answer some questions for you guys.
Lovely.
Do you guys want some water or anything?
Whiskey.
No, thank you.
We don't have it. She just says.
Then no.
I light up a cigarette. Since she's asking me if I need anything.
Please don't smoke. You know what? I'll be right back. And then she steps into the back.
I flash my U.S. Marshal badge again.
It's a federal matter. We need the smoke in here. So it takes a few minutes. But basically a big white truck pulls up, and a older man with gray and blonde hair hops out and kind of comes into the air. He goes, "Greg Holt, you guys are the marshals."
Yes, sir.
Take his hand.
Come on through. Come through the back. I got an office. He kind of takes you back. Like I said, the back's a garage. You see a couple like clearly like lawnmowers that are being worked on. You know, gas. All that's a trailer that's empty with like a flat tire. He takes you to a little corner, like a really small little like side room. That's an office. There is 2 filing cabinets with like locks on them and a laptop. He sits behind the desk and he goes, "You guys are looking for somebody?"
Yeah. About how many guys you have working under you right now?
We got like 14 split between like 3 crews.
About 3
Deputy, do you want to show him the printout?
Yeah. I pull the printout and I lay the one with the landscaper down.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you recognize this guy?
He kind of looks at it for a second and he kind of leans back and he's like, "You guys are just looking for him, right? You're not trying to investigate other crimes?"
No, we just need to ask him a few questions about an incident that happened.
Okay. He kind of pulls out opens a drawer, pulls out a big binder, and kind of starts flipping through it. Some of my guys, I just pay straight up cash. I'm pretty sure this is Dale. He kind of flips through. Yeah, Dale Green is the guy's name.
Ironic.
That was on purpose. Yeah, Dale's been with us for a few months. He walked in the office, asked for a job. Good, hardworking guy. He lives around the Adam Farms area. I think my brother rents a house to him or some shit. Shows up. Shows up on time. Always hard worker. Usually seems slightly.
You have a family?
I don't know. You know, I'm not super tight with these guys. You know, I show up in the morning, run them, usually go home. You know, that kind of thing.
And do you have a home address?
One at a time.
Again, that actually happens.
Yeah.
I'll start talking.
All right, Monty, what did you say?
I was saying, who's your newest employee?
I got a couple teens. You know, it's spring break. They're looking to make some cash. I can pull them up if you want. And kind of pulls them
No
up.
need.
Okay, yeah. I'll say one's a young Hispanic male. The other one's like some dipshit white kid. They've been here for
How
like 2
old is
weeks.
Dale?
Greg kind of leans back in his chair. He's like, late 40s, I would guess. You know, still, like, seems like a well-built guy for his age, though. You know, but.
Do you have a home address and a vehicle for him?
I don't think he has a vehicle. Usually the guys, they'll pick him up in the morning, or he shows up here. Yep, and it's one of my brother's houses. 82 Mills Lane, and that's right in the.
Where is your brother, if I might ask?
Well, you know, he cones this business with me. He has a couple houses. Mostly works out of his home. And basically tells you like a really nice neighborhood on the other side of town.
Do we get
I can call him if you guys
Should we get
want
his address? Yeah. I was gonna say, would we be able to talk to him too today?
Yeah.
Just for posterity's sake.
Yeah. Give me a second. And then he basically comes back in. He says, "Yeah, he's at the country club having lunch or some shit." He says you guys can meet him there if you want.
Okay. Have you ever had any problems with Dale? Do you know of anybody, any dealings? No, not necessarily dealings, but have you ever heard anything about him from any other guys on the crew? Anybody know anything about him?
Well, you know, these dudes, they'll get off and they'll drink together. Some of them hang out, I guess smoke weed, that kind of thing. My understanding is Dale kind of keeps to himself. Some of the dudes are kind of scared of the dude. You know, apparently some young guy started some shit with him. He broke the guy's nose. So.
Well, that doesn't seem very.
Did you watch it happen?
Like I said, man, I show up in the morning, make sure the guys are here, and then run them. and then use him.
Clocked my badge. Sir, I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble. However, if you saw a bar fight, I mean, it's not incriminating at all. I'm just asking.
The dude puts his hands up. He's like, "Hey, look, man. I make like $200,000 a year from these guys. I'm not here every day. That's why I got the lady out front.
Things are going pretty well
Yeah.
in my world.
He's like,
okay.
Well,
This is
hold on.
easy.
So you're telling me that the lady up front.
You're telling me that your employees fight each other and you take no concern about it whatsoever.
Not if they're not off book,
and
man.
you let a 60-year-old woman deal with grown men fighting.
Well, I have dudes who run the cruise. The guys who run the cruise deal with the guys. Look, man, this is fucking. They're off book. Shit like these guys.
I spit on the ground and I said, "Mama's boy."
That's not my mom, but all right. Like, I don't know. Look, man, I'm being honest. You guys are asking me to be honest. I didn't see this happen. I was told it happened. Outside of that, the guy that started shit with Dale was fired, was my understanding. Because Dale's not a fucking problem. The other guy's apparently some dipshit, some fucking con we were given a chance to. Started some shit with the guy he shouldn't have started shit with. Got laid out.
I don't want to be meta, but I'm only this line of questioning is just because I want to see if it was like a clean punch that would come from like someone who's in the military, or if it was like a messy, you know what I'm saying?
It sure sounds like it.
I
mean, this sounds like it sounds exactly like how Frank would act. Is he's quiet, professional, and then if trouble arises, he
deals with it,
breaks a guy's nose. So this does sound like a pretty good idea.